Hello, hello. We have Raven Cassidone with us this evening. Thank you
Hi.
so much for joining the Creative Living Show tonight. I know that this month is Sickle Cell Month, and
Yes.
so we
Yes.
are educating ourselves on that. And again, I just want to thank you for joining me this evening. I know you weren't able to make it in. We hope to have you on the show later.
Yes,
But we're
absolutely.
just going to jump right in. We're going to jump right in. I know that you're working on your social work degree.
Yes.
You are a stay-at-home mother. You're from my hometown, Newport News, Virginia. Yes, another Newport Newsian in the house. And so, what we're going to do, and also the other thing is that I am very close friends with your aunt. We are best friends from like 7 years of age, and her mother, I mean, her sister, Lisa, was your mother, who
Yes.
actually suffered from sickle cell and is no longer here with us. But we were very close friends. We've known each other for a very long time. And in honor of your mom, you are out here advocating for those with sickle cell. So, first, I just want to ask, like, are you suffering from sickle cell?
Yes, I have sickle cell anemia, which is basically sickle cell as that's the genotype of the disease that I have.
Okay, are there a lot of different types of genotypes?
I wouldn't say a lot, but there are different
Okay.
types of sickle cell. Yes.
So, can you just, I know it's probably a lot of different, like you said, a lot of genotypes, but just give us a basic definition of, like, if you can, of what sickle cell is.
Sickle cell basically is a hereditary blood disorder, meaning it comes down from your parents. You get a gene from each parent. It affects the red blood cells, which causes them to change shape instead of being round and full of oxygen. They're more like a crescent moon
Mm-hmm.
or a banana shape, which then causes them to become difficult and to get through the body because they're lacking oxygen and they're sticky and they clump together, which basically causes a lot of different pain episodes and
Mm-hmm.
damage to your organs, fatigue and jaundice, and a lot of other
Mm.
symptoms.
So what is it that got you into being an advocate for sickle cell? No, because of your mom and because you suffer from it, but actually, what are you doing to advocate for sickle cell?
Basically, speaking up about it, sharing my personal experience with sickle cell and just the different things going through, the medical world for sickle cell patients isn't the
Mm-hmm.
best sometimes. So just kind of sharing those experiences and being open to not being ashamed to just share and be honest because
Mm-hmm.
I feel it's always someone else who may need to hear that
Mm-hmm.
to keep going. So that's part of why I do, advocate and get out there and speak about it for myself and just for others that's going through it who
Mm-hmm.
feel that they can't speak up. So that's part
Mm.
of why I do it also.
And so what is your story? Like, what is the story with, your mom and you being diagnosed?
Um, well, basically, my mom passed away in 2007.
Sorry to hear that.
So she was 40 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and at the time I was 16 years old. And so that was a really hard thing for me. She was one of the first people that I really knew with sickle cell, and she did so gracefully. You never heard
Mm.
her complain,
Yeah,
and
she was a
that's
sweetheart.
just a small part of it. And then just dealing with the disease myself, and becoming an adult, and just seeing how the medical field is just not educated on sickle cell and
Mm.
what to do for those patients, and just the stigma that comes with being a sickle cell patient.
And what is some of the stigmas that, we need to be aware of?
Um, the biggest one is that we're drug seekers, or that we're
Mm.
not really in pain,
Oh,
or
wow.
um, that's kind of
Oh
the
my
main
goodness.
part.
And that is something that people still think today?
Yes,
Oh my
yes,
goodness.
because we go through severe pain, and a lot of times we do have to use very strong narcotics. So
Mm.
in like the emergency rooms or the hospitals, and because we are people of color,
Mm.
that's who it predominantly mostly affects. um yeah,
Mm.
that's kind of the stigma, that we're just there for the drugs, and
Oh my
we're
goodness.
not really in pain, or our pain isn't serious, because we're calm and talking just as I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking to you right now.
Mm.
And we can kind of go about that, and sometimes it's hard to really, I guess, for some people to believe, because it is an invisible disease
Mm.
and you can't really see what's going on inside of my body,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
just by looking at me.
Right.
So that's some of the stigmas and things
Yeah,
like.
and I know that you had mentioned to me before that it affects your organs. It can affect your organs at
Mhm.
some point, and like you said, it's a lot of different types. And I know you mentioned in another discussion we had where you were saying that a lot of people is different for everybody. There's not
Mhm.
just one sickle cell. It's like it can affect
Yes.
everybody differently, so you can't just judge like, oh well, my friend didn't suffer that way, so don't believe the
Mhm.
other person. Like it's different for everybody,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a blood disorder, and
Oh,
you have to think about it. Blood is everywhere,
yeah.
and your blood cells go everywhere. So any part
Mm-hmm.
of the body can be affected. Your vision can be affected,
Wow.
your skin or your bones. All of those
Wow.
types of things
Yes.
can be affected because blood is all over your body.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I never thought about that. So
Hmm.
as far as okay, we heard your story. We know what you're doing now about it, how you're advocating. So what is it that you would like to share with other individuals who either have family members with sickle cell or someone that is suffering from it now or just got diagnosed, like someone that just got diagnosed? What are some words of encouragement that you could share with them?
Some words of encouragement that I would give to maybe just family, or someone who's recently diagnosed with
Mm-hmm.
it. Um, to learn, just learn everything you can, attend conferences,
Mm.
attend different seminars, because I feel it's never, too much to learn. It's always
Mm-hmm.
something else. It's so many different levels and just different things that's included with this disease.
Right.
And as a caregiver or a family member, you may not understand. So just reading up on it and asking those certain questions can give you a better understanding, especially for people who don't have the background in their family. Me,
Mm-hmm.
I was blessed to have my mom and a few other family
Mm-hmm.
members. So my family was pretty much aware, but it is people in the community who are the only person in their family with
Mm-hmm.
the disease, and so that can be hard and difficult when your family or your friends just don't really understand or don't support. But I feel it's definitely important for people to get connected. Try to get connected with your local community,
Mm-hmm.
and reach out, and don't be afraid to share how you really feel, and to
Mm-hmm.
speak up and advocate for yourself, because
Right.
that's very important to your care.
So again, so what was it that you had mentioned? I know there's the diagnosis, and then there's also, I believe, it's like it's a trait, and then it's the gene, and
Hmm.
so can you explain a little bit about that? Like what makes it a the sickle cell diagnosis versus, like, I know some people you just could have the trait but no symptoms.
Okay, so basically, the trait is just meaning you are a carrier of the disease, meaning you have one gene that came from your mother or one that came from your father,
Mm.
and that just means you have the trait.
Okay.
For example, I have the full blown disease, but my son has the trait, and his father didn't have any of the sickle cell genes, so he
Mm.
was just left with the half gene, which is the
Mm-hmm.
sickle cell trait. But what happens when a person has the sickle cell gene from each parent, that's when they end up having the full blown disease.
Oh, okay. So that's when you're saying it's very important for them to be tested prior to,
Yes.
having a child. Because if they
Yes.
both have it, then it's most likely they're going to have the full blown disease,
Mhm.
and
Yes.
the things that you have to go through. Of course, you wouldn't want your child to have to go through that.
Yes.
Oh my
Absolutely.
goodness. So now just to lighten it up a little bit. So what is it that you like to do that's creative, like in your life?
Um. Uh. Things that I like to do that's creative. I like. Well, it's still kind of connected with sickle cell, but I just really like helping other people, and even if it's something small or nothing major, I rather be that person to help others, to
Mm-hmm.
be that light, to be that encouragement, so they see, hey, she's going through this and she's dealt with this, but she's still going and she's still smiling and pushing through. So that's
Right.
just an idea I just
Now, you
basically
did mention
help
to me in
people.
another conversation that there's some other creative things that you like to do.
Yeah, well, I do like to dance.
Uh-huh. You dance in your
Actually,
church. You keep
yeah,
forgetting that one.
I've been slacking on it, but that's a part of what I like to do. I do like to write. Sometimes I kind of need to get back into that, but that's
Mm-hmm.
very helpful and therapeutic
Okay.
also.
Okay, awesome, awesome. And you're so young and you're beautiful.
Thank
So
you.
I am going to wish you the best. Now, before we wrap up, I just wanted to know, how can people get more information? How can they get in touch with you?
um, I'm on social media. I'm on Facebook at Raven Chanel Cassidone, and that's RAVEN-SHANEL, and my last name is Cassidone, which is Cassidone,
Mm-hmm.
and then my Instagram is lady underscore Chanel, and that's SHANEL.
All right. So we got the Instagram, the Facebook, and soon to be speaking all over engagements. You're going to be booking and everything. And is are there any
Yeah.
upcoming events that you will be attending?
Yes, I will be in Maryland for the national convention that's hosted by um, the Sickle Cell Disease Association of America. They have it every year. This year is October 9th through the 12th.
Mm,
I think that's in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm
okay.
not sure which hotel, but you
Mm-hmm.
can easily pull it up
Mm-hmm.
on Google.
Okay.
It's through the National Association.
All right. So the National Sickle Cell Association is what we can Google and
Yes.
get that information. Okay. And I'll try to have that information um, on the show or somewhere in the comments for the show
Okay.
so that people can get that information. I also have your contact information as well. So again, I want to thank you so much, Raven, and shout
Thank
out to
you.
Sharice, your aunt, my best
Yes.
friend, and to all your family members. I know you have a great support system. To your
Thank you.
sister that I've actually met. So to all of you, your son, I wish you all well. And
Thank
again,
you.
thank you so very much for your time again this evening for
Thank
doing this
you.
pre-interview for the show tonight. So thank you again.
Absolutely.
Peace and
Thank
blessings and a lot of
you.
love.
Thank
Okay. All
you.
right. Bye bye.